It'sGoSu versus Team LighT about to start right now. Tweet your match predictions at NASL TV, and we will be selecting 5 winners to get some awesome posters. So
Signed by Ceres?
Signed by Ceres? I might sign them. I don't know. We'll see.
Upon request.
Upon request. Yeah. If that happens, maybe we'll see what happens. But I just got word that we do have our starters.
And they
going to be Kaihol versus Heaven on Earth.
Alright.
So it's going to be a TVZ. Just waiting for players to get in the game, and then we can start.
And you know, how does Team LighT come about? I know it's the
Kiwi clones.
Kiwi clone army, right? The Kiwi clones. But the Kiwi clones are basically just Kawaii Rise's students, right?
Yeah. It's basically they're basically. I think it started with people who just watched his stream a lot and people who got coached by him, and then I think it was kind of like a joke at first, where they're like, "Oh yeah, you know, let's start a team," and then all of a sudden it became something that they became more serious about.
It's just impressive how much, if they're all Kiwi student, it's just super impressive how much they all improved together.
Yeah, I mean, actually, Binsky was like a copper level player
wow.
a year ago. Like, he had never played StarCraft before, ever. And,
yeah, just because he's legitimately good now.
Yeah, no, he's actually pretty solid.
They all are.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's the
awesome.
guy's? He looks just like a Sum. Who is that?
Oh, that's
and they're all
Caliber.
best friends. They're so cute in events and shit. They're all wearing their little thingies.
The little penguin.
They take the sickest pictures, always with Adrian in the middle.
Yep. That's the Manifesto / Asum clone is Caliber.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He's changed his name though. What was it before?
It
Caliber?
was like Picnic before, I think.
Picnic.
Yeah.
That's where I know him. He's like a.
Oh, Picnic. That guy. Caliber is Picnic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is he a random player?
He was random, but he switched. I think he's Protoss full time now.
Oh, okay.
I think sometimes on that account he plays
Caliber.
random.
I only remember
really
Protoss.
A student of Kawaii Rice?
Yeah.
Damn. So he just taught him 1 cheese for every match?
Do we really need more than 1 cheese per matchup? I mean, any more, isn't that just really overdoing it?
That's true.
They're random.
Anyways, now that that's settled, I think the players are ready, so let's just... Are you guys ready?
I'm ready to go.
Alright, man, let's do this. I will leave it to the pros to cast this, and yeah, let's do it. I'm going to start the game now.
Alright. Let's do it.
Let's do it, Jake.
Let's do it, CatZ.
Go, go, go!
Kaihol versus Heaven's LighT. I've actually never seen Heaven's LighT ever play. I've heard his name, of course, but I don't think I've ever watched him play before.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. He ranks pretty high on the ladder, though, usually.
Yeah,
but,
usually.
This should be really interesting.
It should be. We do have a Terran versus Zerg. What map was this? I forgot to glance.
This is, I believe, by the geometry of it, I think it's Odyssey.
Okay. Alright, so we do have the Zerg at the bottom right. We have the Terran from It'sGoSu at the top left. This is the first match of this clan war. Yeah, pretty much the first to 4 wins is the format. Winner stays up. So it's possible that Kaihol could all kill or Heaven's LighT could all kill. Those are always like the best feelings when you all kill a team.
Absolutely, that's a pretty good feeling post Shizzle.
So pretty standard play coming up from Terran. He's just putting his first depot at the ramp. Probably wants to start off with a wall off, which I think you should always wall off versus Zerg. Now the other 2 matchups, I feel like as Terran that walling off is not really that important, but especially versus Zerg, you need to wall off.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people are walling off later on though. Just you know, hatch first is pretty much universal, and Yeah, even if it wasn't, like, no one's ever gonna go for anything less than a 14 pull, I don't think. Unless you study your opponent and know for a fact that he won't wall off.
Yeah,
so,
we actually have a command center first opening coming here for Kai-Hole. So I think it's a pretty safe opening in general nowadays, just because of, like you said, most players do go for that macro-oriented style hatch first. We do have a drone.
Yeah,
We do have
a
a
good
drone
95% or so.
Yeah, a good 95% for sure. Do have a drone that's already scouted him though. He is going to know it's up really quickly, so because of that, he's going to be able to adjust his play and play reactionary if he wanted to. He could even take a fast move at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I prefer to drop a third hatchery before pull when I see this. He did drop a pull right away. I mean, it's pretty standard though. And yeah, I also, if I scout it fast enough, sometimes I'll just pull like 5 drones and go harass, and that's usually pretty good. But on this map, probably not. It's pretty long rush distance.
It's a long distance. Now, if this was Steps of War, I could see pulling 5 drones and being like, all right, it's time to go harass. I could see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Steps of War, there's a few maps where
there's a few maps.
But and it also depends on your scout timing, and obviously if you scout them first on 4-player maps or not. But yeah, I mean, everything goes. And now Kyle just adding another barracks. So I don't think he's gonna be very aggressive with this, as much as just trying to play it safe. But he does. Oh, never mind. He did have the Marines rallied all the way to Heaven's base, but no longer.
Yeah, he's probably just going to send... I like sending my first Marine out just to go to a watchtower or something, just to make sure that the drone's not just sitting there like it was. I would probably pull it back instantly, because you don't want to just travel with one Marine across the map unless you're going to scout. You know, a lot of times players actually, instead of scouting with their SCV, when they go for these builds that they already have completely planned out, they actually send like a Marine to scout, so they don't miss any extra mining time.
Yeah, definitely. And Kyle is one of those players that's pretty underrated, I feel like, and I like his style. He has his own style of play. I don't think his mechanics are the best, but just, you know, his style is just, every time it's different, and he always has something planned out that he, you know, studied himself and knows how to do. So I really like his style. Like right now he's adding more barracks. Just the first gas right now.
Very odd.
2 gases. Yeah.
A very strange opening, but we're gonna have to see where he's gonna go with this. Obviously, it looks like he wants to do like a Marine pressure attack, like no stem, no nothing, just get like 12 Marines and go or something like that.
I would have to guess so, unless he gets 2 tech labs right away. He did take the 2 gases right here.
He did.
So,
but it would still be a pretty late stem. I mean, stem's not a fast research, especially nowadays after the 3 different patches that nerfed the timing of that. We have a third command center actually going down here for Kai-Hole. I really like that, getting that macro command center. So you can also use it to take your third later on.
Definitely.
Really good.
And this is the thing that I was just talking about like with Kyle. You know, like we didn't know what he was doing. Imagine what's going through Heaven's head. I mean, it may not be the most cost-efficient build. It may not be the best way to do something, but it definitely forces his opponents to play at his comfort zone. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
you see a lair just starting for our Zerg player, Heaven's LighT. He's also grabbing some additional gases as well. A Baneling Nest even going down, which that's really good, because that's going to allow him to deal with any kind of early Marine attack or pressure with very few units.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with this good creep spread. I mean, imagine slow Banelings versus Marines without stem here. You know, like spreading is going to be really difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. Very nice creep spread by him.
Good.
Got 4 queens. That's something that you like a lot. That's something that I like as well. I think
you're a
it's
3-man. I'm a 4-man. It's okay.
Well, it really depends. It really depends for me. I mean, I'll get like if I see a Marauder Hellion all in or something like that, I'll get 5 or 6. You know, but yeah, 3 is my base. 4 I like. And yeah, anything past that is too much unless I scout something.
Yeah, unless you see like a mask Banshee rush, 2-port Banshee or something, then you can have infinite queens.
Absolutely.
Alright, so the lair is complete. We do have Carapace level 1 started. Now, CatZ, why don't you go ahead and tell the viewers a little about your opinion of Carapace upgrade first versus melee attack for Zerglings?
For Zerglings?
Yeah.
Well, it really depends on what style you're playing. I feel like if he's gonna be going Mutas and upgrading the attack of the Mutas, then he probably wants those Zerglings to be tankish and tank more tanks. Like with a Carapace upgrade, they'll tank, like they won't die right away with
right.
tank.
They take
tank
2
shots.
initial tank shots, right?
Yeah, like yeah. So yeah, with the Carapace upgrade, the Lings tank more and instead of killing more, and that's good because the Mutas are gonna be doing a lot of DPS and trying to pick off those tanks. So yeah, I mean I prefer Carapace upgrade. I usually get both at the same time, to be honest.
Double Evo
But if I
style?
had to pick one, I would go for Carapace upgrade on the Lings, as long as I'm going Mutas and upgrading.
Look at this creep spread. This is actually a pretty ridiculous creep spread.
Yeah, it is pretty ridiculous. It's 10 minutes in. That's crazy.
Yeah. And
oh, the one place that he doesn't have creep spread though. Nice move by Kyle going all the way over there.
Yeah, I would really wish he would have attacked with the Banelings from one side and the Zerglings came from behind.
Oh, he's still gonna catch him. Is it? Yep. Oh, that was good. Nice spread by Kyle though.
Yep. Marauders can take a lot of shots.
Yeah, it's a pretty. Let's see. So actually the Zerg lost a lot more resources there. But yeah, it's not the worst trade though. He is on 3 bases.
The third base
yeah,
is
it's
up,
definitely it's definitely a good trade. And I mean,
I think anytime you can clear up an entire army, it's worth it. You know, like even if you're not the most cost-efficient way of doing it, because Terran has to go through that process now of where they're rebuilding up that army, right? So you have all this time to where you can drone up, you can take another base. And now Mutas are out, so that's going to allow him to be able to put pressure on his opponent, harass, and whatnot. We do see the first medevacs are actually just coming up. These are actually pretty late medevacs, I want to say. Usually medevacs enter the game at around the 10-minute mark, maybe a little bit even earlier if he's going for them quickly. But now it's like 12 minutes and they just came out, so he's not going to be able to do much drop harass now. He kind of missed his window that he could have done any kind of drop pressure.
Yeah, definitely. And look at the creep spread by Heavens, man. That's just super impressive. And yeah, like you were saying before too. Oh, the tank survives with 8 HP. Almost got picked up by just 5 Mutas actually. But yeah, just like to emphasize on what you were saying. Yeah, that's even though the Zerg lost more resources in that exchange, it benefited him at the time because he is mining up of 3 base, so his income was like 200 above the Terrans or so per minute, and he lost 300 more minerals. So obviously it's a good exchange for the Zerg. He did have his main oversaturated for quite a while, and now finally he's transferring some drones. Transferring, yep, and now he's gonna be on 4 bases, and everything's looking good for Heavens. And for Cal, really.
He actually needs to transfer some drones from his main to even his natural. Like his natural doesn't have near as many as his main. His main's actually oversaturated. But yeah, now it's like 4 base. Isn't it? Yeah. How many drones can you have on minerals? Like, what's the maximum number?
24. So his base is too short of that. But yeah, he could definitely spread his drones better. Yeah. And 16 is gonna be the the optimum number. So he could transfer like a good. He could transfer 6 drones to his third, and those 6 drones would mine a lot more minerals than they are at his main right now.
Yeah, definitely. Alright, you see the Muta is still trying to do some harassment. You have 3 Raxes going up, and these are actually going to help wall off the Zerg, so it's going to make counterattacking and everything else really more difficult because it's going to funnel them in a lot more.
Yeah, I love the positioning.
I really like the natural too, how he has the bunker there, he has the missile turrets, and he also has a depot wall set up.
Yeah, definitely.
it also is going to make things a little bit more complicated. I wish the wall end would be complete and there would be no little hole there, but
yeah. But yeah, I mean it's pretty nice though. It's a nice SimCity, and you know, if I was a Terran Jake right now, I'd get a Raven. If my if the creep is also hit my main.
He would like even if he was standing. Oh no!
That could have been worse. That was actually good for Heavens almost. I thought it was gonna be tragic there for a second, working all those mainlings there.
Yeah. I still don't think it was a good thing, but it definitely could have been way worse.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
that was a sick hit right there, and those mutas actually could have took out those Marauders. They were all like one shot away.
Yeah, he probably could have pushed in a little bit more.
Yep.
Let's see. Heavens is just starting his hive now, as well as his pathogen glands upgrade. So he's in a pretty good spot, man. I think he's just gonna need to drop some spines to make sure the map is good soon. Yeah, that's his 6th round.
Going to freaking destroy this Terran army really hard. The tanks weren't even in the army, to be honest, and now they're trying to push in. That's a lot of tanks there. Those banelings and zerglings are going to die really quickly. There is a +1 on the mech side of the Terran army, so they will one-shot the zerglings no matter the carapace upgrades.
Yeah. Yeah, look, he's gonna deny the 4th at least for a little bit.
Yeah,
and I'm super impressed with him, to be honest.
Yeah, the game's really even at this point still. Like, both players are still going to be on 4 bases. I feel like they're going to take games.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the hard part for Kyle is about to come here, though. Evans is already at Brother Tech here in 2nd.
Yeah.
And his 2-2 upgrades are finished. And Kyle's are as well, I believe. Yep, Kyle's are actually faster. But, so they both start working on 3-3 at the exact same time. We're about to see a Greater Spire soon, probably. Oh, those mutas are going to pick off one more tank.
Nice tank
really
pick
nice
off.
job. Yep.
Every tank pick-off is so important at this stage of the game just because it delays their push that much longer. And especially when you're trying to get Infestor Broodlord up, like, you want that push to be delayed.
Definitely.
I would like for him to continue trying to creep spread, though, because that's making him waste the scans since he will not build a Raven.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle actually has 83 SEVs. Plus mules, so his economy is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Evans at 77 himself, it's not too bad. The only problem with that is he was on a really low count for a while, and he was barely mining anything off of his 3rd. That's both. Well, that's a problem coming into this stage of the game. But obviously, the longer the game goes, the better that's gonna play out because his 3rd will mine out a lot slower. And,
right.
Yeah. So if he can hold and if he can be cost efficient, that's actually going to play in his favor for the later stages. Nice mutas there.
Yep, the mutas are doing a good job denying even mining at this expansion. Some more Marines are coming, and they're going to definitely push these mutas back since Terran does have 2-2 upgrades, which once those upgrades really kick in, mutas start dying so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kyle knows how to play this map now. He's, you know, when the map is this spread out, like, you have to attack at different locations all the time. It's pretty hard for the Zerg to just not have a big clump of army or just leave small chunks everywhere. Whereas, you know, dropping like loading a bunch of Marines and dropping them in a medevac, not that hard. So that's the kind of mechanics that the Terran should abuse as much as possible on maps like this.
Yeah, I think Kyle's doing a really good job here. He's just sending, like, you know, a suicide mission squadron of Marines just to go and snipe hatcheries and stuff. But now he knows Broodlords are on the way, and what does he have to answer to this? I don't see any Vikings. The first pair of Vikings just popped out on the field, and these are really late. I mean, with all the tech labs, to be honest, and the resources Terran has, I feel like he should have been making Ghosts.
Yeah, definitely. Ghosts would have been great on this army. I'm not sure why he wasn't doing that. He does have a ton of gas and a ton of resources. I don't necessarily agree with all the links moving in here, though. I feel like that's a little bit unnecessary. But, yeah, I mean, he's just going to waste links. Bird links are doing the exact same thing that those links are doing. So I would have much rather... Oh, and beautiful snipes in those infestors. But, yeah, now, one Corruptor is all the anti-air that's left. And, you know, those Marines are going to do a lot of damage to those Birdlords that, if he had not wasted his links, would not be possible.
Yep. I absolutely agree. Still more and more Zerg units rushing in here, and this is I know it's looking good for our Zerg player because Terran does not build nearly as fast. You do see some Zerglings also running up to the third base of Pi-hole, and this is doing a ton of damage to that mineral line.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's really good play by Heavens, just splitting his army as much as he can. And yeah, like you were saying, man, I feel like Kyle could have been a little bit more prepared. This is a pretty hard stage of the game for Terran, just like drops are easy for Terran. It's a lot. It's pretty easy for Zerg to move a lot of Birdlords and forget about them. And you know, like, whereas you have to, like, that's a really hard part to micro for the Terran. You have to snipe, you have to position your Vikings, you can't thump them up. You have to be careful with your siege tanks.
There's a lot of stuff you gotta do.
Yeah, definitely. Whereas Zerg has to attack move with the Birdlords and fungal with the infestors.
Yeah.
You know?
Or you just attack them and you just keep rebuilding stuff. And that's going to be GG. So that was pretty impressive by our Zerg player. You know, the only thing I could say is Terran didn't harass as much as I thought he could be or be aggressive. Like, I felt like even if he just sent out his Marines earlier, he could have denied the creep spread a lot, you know? Because there's no...
Yeah, I feel like he played really good, Jake, up until like the last stages of the game.
Yeah, I would say he played really good versus the lair stage of the Zerg, but once Hive kicked in, it's like he didn't transition, you know? I feel like when you play Terran versus Zerg, the Terran has to transition at the same time Zerg does, right? So you constantly need to be scanning to see where their tech tree is and everything else, because the minute they go to Hive, you need to start preparing to deal with Hive tech units, which pretty much Ghost can deal with every Hive tech unit, which is like Ultralisk or Broodlord, and Vikings are really good versus Broodlord. So you need to have some kind of game plan to follow and transition into.
Yeah, and Ghosts aren't half bad against Mutas, Lings, and Banelings, so, you know.
Yeah, they actually crushed Zerglings.
Yeah, just starting to get some Ghosts earlier, it's not a bad idea usually.
And you know, I thought he was planning on that the whole time. That was the reason for all the tech labs on the Raxes to transition into Ghosts, but they just never came. And when they did come, it was already too late. Broodlords and NASL Baneling was already knocking at the door. So let's go ahead and take a short break, and then we'll jump right into the next game. It will be on Antigua Shipyard, so we're just waiting for It'sGoSu to pick their next player. So we'll be right back, guys.
Cool.